there. Have you ever heard the story of Jesus walking on water? It's a pretty famous one from the Bible, in the book of Matthew. The disciples are in a boat, caught in a massive storm. They're terrified. Then, in the middle of the night, they see a figure walking toward them on the water. They think it's a ghost, but it's Jesus. He calls out to Peter, one of his disciples, and says, "Come." So Peter, full of faith, steps out of the boat and starts walking on the water toward Jesus. It's a miracle. But then, he takes his eyes off Jesus and looks at the wind and the waves crashing around him. He gets scared, starts to doubt, and immediately begins to sink. He cries out, "Lord, save me." And Jesus reaches out, pulls him up, and asks him, "You of little faith, why did you doubt?" Now, why am I telling you this story? Because for many people, the journey of addiction recovery feels a lot like Peter's experience. You've made this incredible, brave decision to step out of the boat of your addiction. You've set your eyes on a new life, a life of sobriety and freedom. You're walking on water, doing something that feels impossible. But then the storms of life hit. The wind of temptation, the waves of cravings, the fear, the doubt, they all start crashing around you. And in those moments, it's so easy to take your eyes off your goal, to get scared, and to start sinking. Today, I want to talk about the wind and the waves of addiction recovery. Specifically, I want to talk about the lies your addicted brain will tell you to try and pull you back into the water. These lies are powerful, just like that storm on the sea. They're designed to make you doubt, to make you afraid, and to make you believe that sinking is your only option. You have a choice. You can recognize these lies for what they are and keep your eyes fixed on your goal. So, let's expose 4 of the most common and cunning lies that your brain might try to sell you during recovery. Recognizing them is the first step to fighting back. The first big lie is the blame game. It sounds something like this. It's not my fault. If my boss wasn't so demanding, I wouldn't need to drink to unwind. Or, if my partner was more supportive, I wouldn't need to use. Or maybe, it's my parents' fault for how I was raised. You see the pattern? These lie shifts all the responsibility for your choices onto someone or something else. It paints you as a victim of your circumstances, powerless to change. Here's the danger. When you're blaming others, you're giving away your power. You're essentially saying that your sobriety depends on other people changing their behavior. But you can't control what your boss does. You can't control your family. The only person you have control over is you. The truth is, while other people and situations can certainly be triggers, the decision to use a substance is ultimately yours. Recovery begins when you take ownership of your actions. It's not about assigning blame. It's about accepting responsibility. That's not to heap shame on yourself, but to empower yourself. When you own your choices, you own your power to make different ones. The second lie is what I call the catastrophe excuse. This one pops up when something really bad happens. Maybe you lose your job, go through a painful breakup, or get some devastating news. The lie sounds like this. Well, after what just happened, anyone would use. I deserve a break. Just this once won't hurt. This lie uses a genuinely difficult event as a free pass to relapse. It creates a false justification, suggesting that the rules of recovery are temporarily suspended because of your pain. But think about it. Will using a substance actually solve the problem? Will it get your job back? Will it heal your broken heart? No. In fact, it will almost certainly make a bad situation worse. It adds another layer of problem shame, guilt, and the physical and mental fallout of a relapse on top of the original crisis. A crisis is a test of your new coping skills, not an excuse to abandon them. Truth is, you can get through this without using it. Will be hard, yes, but facing it sober will make you stronger and prove to yourself that you don't need your addiction to survive life's storms. You are more resilient than you think. Now for the third lie. This one is subtle. It's the purposeful use lie. It whispers, I just need it for this one thing. I need a drink to be social at this party. Or, I need to get high so I can be creative and finish this project. Or even, I just need it to help me sleep tonight. This lie tricks you into believing that the substance serves a necessary, functional purpose. It reframes your addiction as a tool, a solution to a specific problem. But this is a dangerous trap. It's your addiction putting on a disguise, pretending to be helpful. What it's really doing is creating a dependency. You start to believe you can't be social, creative, or relaxed without it. The truth is, those abilities are already inside you. You were social before your addiction. You were creative. You could sleep. Recovery is the process of rediscovering those parts of yourself. It's about learning new, healthy ways to be confident in social settings, to unlock your creativity, and to calm your mind for sleep. Using a substance is a shortcut that leads to a dead end. The real journey is about building sustainable skills that don't come with a devastating cost. The fourth and final lie we'll talk about today is perhaps the most common of all. It's the emotional crutch lie. It says, I feel so sad, angry, anxious, lonely. Or, I just need something to make the feeling go away. This lie promises instant relief from emotional pain. It positions your substance of choice as the only effective way to cope with difficult feelings. And in the short term, it might even feel like it works. It numbs the pain, creating a temporary escape. But emotions are like a beach ball. You can try to hold one underwater, but it takes a lot of energy, and eventually, it's going to pop back up, often with even more force. Numbing your feelings doesn't resolve them. It just postpones them. And it prevents you from learning how to actually process them. The goal of recovery isn't to never feel sad or angry again. The goal is to learn how to sit with those feelings, understand what they're telling you, and move through them without needing to escape. Feelings are just signals. They're not emergencies. Learning to tolerate discomfort is a superpower in recovery. It's about building emotional resilience, one feeling at a time. So, we have the blame game, the catastrophe excuse, the purposeful use lie, and the emotional crutch. These are the winds and the waves that will try to make you sink. They are loud, scary, and very convincing. They are the voice of your addiction trying to lure you back into the boat. So what do? How do you fight back? It goes back to our story. When Peter started to sink, what did he do? He cried out for help. And what did Jesus do? He reached out his hand and pulled him up. First, you need to recognize the lie. When you hear that voice in your head making excuses, blaming others, or promising a quick fix, call it out. Say to yourself, that's a lie. That's my addiction talking, not the truth. Just naming it takes away a lot of its power. Second, you have to have a counter-truth ready. For every lie, there is a powerful truth. When your brain says, it's your boss's fault, you reply, my choices are my responsibility, and I choose sobriety. When it says, you deserve to use after this horrible day, you answer, using will only make this worse. I can handle this sober. Prepare your truths ahead of time. Write them down. Say them out loud. Most importantly, like Peter, you need to reach out. You cannot do this alone. Your support system is your lifeline. This could be a sponsor, a therapist, a support group, trusted friends, or family. When the waves are high and you feel yourself sinking, you need to make that call. You need to send that text. You need to say, I'm struggling. The lies are loud today. I need help. Reaching out is not a sign of weakness. It is the ultimate act of strength. It's you, in the middle of the storm, choosing to look toward your goal instead of at the waves. It's you choosing faith over fear. The journey of recovery is a walk on water. There will be storms. You might stumble. You might even feel like you're sinking at times. But the storm is not the end of the story. The lies are not the truth. Your past does not define your future. Keep your eyes on your goal, call out the lies, speak the truth, and never, ever be afraid to reach out for a hand to pull you up. You are capable of this. You are worth it. Thanks for watching today. If this video resonated with you, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing for more content on recovery and personal growth. And remember, if you're struggling, please reach out for professional help. There are resources available. And you don't have to go through this alone. Take care.